Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk specifically about clanging truths and what clanging truths you can tell in your Dungeons and Dragons game, and how you can impact people and really encourage people and just give them a more joyful and a better life through your encouragement. Right? So let's walk this through. It's pretty fascinating. Okay, so. Um, yeah, let's talk about Top Gun Maverick because this is where this is coming through. So, Top Gun Maverick did something incredibly impressive recently, and that impressive thing is that it broke $1 billion. It shattered the expectations of the world. It had been thought for a while that since the March 2020 problem, that nothing would be able to put up $1 billion, and that was corrected by Spider-Man: No Way Home. By the way, all of this is very relevant to Dungeons and Dragons because we have a Dungeons and Dragons movie coming in March 2023, which is Dungeons and Dragons: No Honor Among Thieves, and we want that in the goal of every Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition dungeon master, the people who carry Gary Gygax's legacy, they want that to be the first $3 billion film, right? And then just smash the roof off of the American box office with a Dungeons and Dragons film and make Dungeons and Dragons the king of the American cinema industry, which is the king of cinema in the world, right? All right, so you have all that going on, but so what was really shocking about Top Gun Maverick is it did so many things that just shocked the world. It made $1 billion, during a pandemic, right, which is huge, and that's massive, right? Because nobody thought. It also is the first non-Disney, Marvel Cinematic User film to do these real numbers, right? The other thing it did was it had red and blue fans, so it had Democrat and Republican fans. Republican fans went in and go, "Oh my gosh, yay America, yay war, yay fighter jets, yay flag on the back of the jacket, yay everything. Love it, all of it. Love the boldness, love the courage, love the unrepentant. America is, king of the world, right?" And Democrats just went in and go, "Oh my gosh, that was a good movie. I had a good time. I paid $15 for my ticket. I got $30 worth of value out of it. I was excited. I love seeing Tom Cruise. I love seeing all this diverse array of fighter jet pilots. African Americans, females." Everybody represented, and Democrats was like, I love that woke representation all up in Top Gun Maverick. This is huge, right? This is really incredible, and you don't get to $1 billion if you can't win viewers on both sides of the lines. This was really incredible. Okay, now why did it work? Right, and this is what we, as 5th edition dungeon masters, we don't function as normal human being anymore. The dungeon master, the 5th edition dungeon master, is the most important human observer on the planet. Nothing is more important than us, and we don't function like normal humans anymore. Everybody else in the world is like, "Oh, that was a fun movie. I liked it," right? But a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition person says, "Okay, I watched Top Gun Maverick. How does this change the world? How does me seeing Top Gun Maverick change the world?" And a 5th edition dungeon master has a path to change the world with the viewing of a movie. How and why? Well, a normal muggle just goes to the movie and goes, "I like the popcorn. I got a Coca-Cola and I had a good time and it was fun," right? But like a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition is dungeon master is like, "Okay, I saw that. All right, that's pretty incredible. Why were they able to engage enough Americans to make $1 billion in the middle of a plague? Right, in the middle of 2 plagues, in a 2-plague world? How were they able to get people out and engage them? Right?" And then the dungeon master says, "Okay, I see how they're doing it. They're doing it with clanging truth. There is clanging truth in Top Gun Maverick, right?" And then they say, "Okay, on Sunday, I have 4 people arriving at my table, and I need to craft a world and craft a personal story that will teach them, improve them, make them better people. They will go into their community, and because they live in America, that community will, the people in the community will change. And because they live in America, the change, the improvement, the betterment of the people in their community simply by, having a personally crafted story with clanging truths that taught them how to be better humans, right? Because they're Americans, the whole world copies America, and the improvements that those players put into their community will be copied worldwide, thus making the world better. So a Muggle watches Top Gun Maverick, and they're like, I had fun. A Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Dungeon Master watches Top Gun Maverick, extracts the lessons learned, and then improves the people at their table on Sunday, and sends four sparks of hope, passion, love, joy, and improvement into the world, making the world better through the viewing of a film. All right. So here we go. Okay, what is the clanging truth of Top Gun Maverick, and then how do we look at that clanging truth, and then find clanging truths to tell our player characters? Okay, to tell our players in their game. Okay, here we go. So the clanging truth of Top Gun, the clanging truth of Top Gun Maverick. We're going to look at what that but let's look at the clanging truth that is bong, 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 bong. The clanging truth of 1986 Top Gun, the reason why it did so well and everybody loved it, was it said, hey, listen up, everybody. America is a dominant predator superpower. Done. Take a look at our air superiority. Our air superiority is better than anybody in the world, and air forces are incredibly powerful. And really, your tanks are cute, but we can just bomb them into the ground. America is a predator superpower. We rule, right? America is king of the world, right? That was in 1986. The clanging truth, right, that calmed everybody and made Top Gun Maverick a $1 billion winner, right, is that in 2022, America is a more powerful superpower than it ever was in 1986, and the only change is that now America has no peers, none, zero superpower peers. In 1986, it could be art. Like in 1986, Russia was still the USSR was there. America defeated the USSR. We didn't have to go to war to do it. We just told them, you guys suck, and they just like, yeah. In 1992, they were like, yeah, we do suck. We're gonna pack that up. USSR done. We can't compete with America, right? And then the one country that was a superpower in 1986 is no longer a superpower now. not only are they not, so the USSR, so Russia, right, who could arguably, who you would be like, are they still superpower? No, they're not. They're going against Ukraine, right? Like one neighbor they're having, and it took them 3 months, and they haven't even done half the job, right? So Russia is not a superpower anymore. Like they really struggle and really don't have any, they're not even a power. They're struggling to beat Ukraine, right? Come on, right? So the clanging truth of Top Gun Maverick is that America is far more of a superpower today than it was in 2022 as it was in 1986. And the only thing that's happened is we have no near peers. America has no near peers. It's exactly the same as 5th edition. 5th edition does not compete with a single game in the tabletop role-playing game industry. It competes with the entire industry and routinely, almost always beats the entire industry put together, right? It certainly is today, right? And so it's incredible, right? And it's the same thing with America. America, there's no country in the world where you could be like, well, America could they beat this country? No, the only question is if we could beat every country simultaneously. And Top Gun Maverick makes this shockingly clear, right? The other thing, and the reason why Top Gun Maverick is able to make this clear is Top Gun Maverick's timing was incredible, okay? Because before February of 2022, you'd be like, well, actually, America might not be that powerful. It's all drones and robot dogs and it's all drones, land, air, and sea, right? And Ukraine has shattered that illusion. They're like, hey, guess what? War in 2022 is exactly like 1942. Tanks, real humans in real fighter jets, real infantry on the ground with real rifles, just shooting at each other. And drones do not matter. They do not matter, right? And so the reality is we now realize that war is what war always was. Get in, get dirty, get it done, right? And the reality is, it is very, very clear to everyone that that war has really not changed. That's what Ukraine has showed us, right? We're doing war pretty much right now exactly the same way we did war in in World War II. And not a thing has changed. And if that's the case, right, if war is traditional and you need real air superiority, there's nobody in the world that can touch us. We have no peers. Zero peers, right? And Top Gun Maverick was clear about this in every possible way, right? They're like, hey, just in case anybody's wondering, the movie will, and that's one of the reasons why the movie didn't really even name a power, because there are no powers that you can put against America. There are no single countries that can even attempt to go against America. The only thing that you would have to get an alliance of the majority of the countries in the world, and they would almost still certainly lose. This is the clanging gong. This is the clanging truth of Top Gun Maverick. What are the clanging truths you can tell in your Dungeons and Dragons game as a dungeon master to encourage, improve, and bring joy to your players, right? Well, so first of all, one of the things is you can just remind them of who they are, right? So they're sitting at your table. They're a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition player. They're not as unfortunate to have some dungeon master who runs them through legacy versions of Dungeons and Dragons or through OSR versions of Dungeons and Dragons, right? Like they're playing the hardest game, the most challenging game. In addition to this, compare them to somebody who doesn't even play Dungeons and Dragons, right? Just remind them, you are charismatic, you are intelligent, you are confident, you are here, and you are looking to make yourself better. You're not just coming to the table trying to have fun. You are expanding your literacy. You are expanding your vocabulary. And so one of the things you could just, make sure your players a clanging truth, saying, you are not a normal human. You are dedicating yourself to something that can literally change the world, right? And so you're not just, playing another round of Call of Duty, right? Or playing another round of, or running through Pokemon Arceus. You're not wasting your time. You are doing something that's fundamentally important and fundamentally critical to make humanity better, right? And so you want to encourage it. There are also one thing I really encourage everybody, with your player characters, you need to be very careful to watch carefully for them to, watch carefully for your players to specifically, you want to make sure that they are, you want to make sure that you know the issues that are happening in their lives. I definitely know this. I have enough of, you want to, and this is why you play at the table. This is why you don't, waste your time on streaming games, but and you do other events with your, like this Friday, I'm going to be watching, Star Wars Episode 1 with one of my players, and it's incredible. I'm blessed to have a lot of activity and a lot of connection to my players, and I know a lot about their lives. So what if they lose their job? Okay, what if they lose their loved one, right? Or what if they lose their romantic partner, right? You can tell them the clanging truth of, you are a valued, important, powerful person before you had this loss, before you lost your job, before you lost your, and you can do this in many ways. One of them is you can, I would definitely, so one, you can configure things in the game to give them successes in the game, which remind them that they can have successes in IRL, right? So, so essentially you should never fudge rolls, and I don't even have the ability to fudge rolls. All my rolls are made in public, right? But that doesn't mean I can't adjust the outcome of the game. I can make sure, you can make sure that not a single non-player character attacks, the person, and they have the ability, and you're saying, oh, you got advantage on these rolls. You can make sure that they are crushing it in the game, and that is a reminder that they can crush it in life, just the way they did before they lost their job, before they lost their loved one, before they lost their romantic partner, right? The clanging truth of, you are valuable, you are special, right? There also might be harsh clanging truths, right? Like, let's say that someone decides to move away, right? And you think this is a terrible idea, and because they're moving for a romantic partner who has been terrible to them, right? And you see something clearly, in their life. You can say a clanging truth by simply setting up a situation saying, well, this non-player character, you go to the tavern, right? And the tavern is shut down because the tavern owner went to Waterdeep to be with a new romantic partner. And then your characters arrive at Waterdeep, and they find out, dun dun dun, they come across the tavern owner, who is now a beggar. And the reason they're a beggar is they came there, they sold all their gold for, they sold their tavern, got all their gold, and went to have enjoy their time with their new romantic partner. And their new romantic partner stole all their gold, was a member of the Thieves Guild, and now this person is literally broke and has nothing. And you're like, clanging truth, player? So the thing is, you, just like Top Gun Maverick, presented these clanging truths, you want to present clanging truths to your player characters and say, hey, understand this, know this is the truth of what's happening. What clanging truths have you told with your Dungeons and Dragons game? Do you see the clanging truth that I'm saying is right there in Top Gun Maverick? I think it's incredibly obvious. Or did you see a different clanging truth that was responsible for the $1 billion success of Top Gun Maverick? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.